All right, it is recording. All right, Bridget. Today, before we start, let's go over some expectations. I've noticed that recently you've been doing a really good job of staying in your seat, being quiet, paying attention to me. Last time you did an especially good job, and I was hoping you can give me some, because we work together a lot, so hoping you could give me some expectations that we have when we're working together.
Yeah. Raising my hand if I have a question and not talking while you're talking.
Those are great expectations, Bridget. I agree. Making sure that you're not talking over me, but letting me know when you do have a question. That's really important when we're working together, is that we're able to clarify stuff. So those are great. All right. Do you remember what this is?
It's that thing that we use to help us solve math.
Yeah, so that's exactly right. This is the R.U.N.S strategy. It stands for reading the problem, underlining the question, naming the problem type, and writing a strategy sentence. Basically, we're using this to solve math word problems. And today, our goal is we're going to go over it a little bit. I'm going to model it. I'm going to show you how to use the strategy to solve a math word problem, and then hopefully you'll be able to kind of guide me through the steps. And I bet you'll be able to. I'm hoping you'll see how useful this strategy is. Bridget, I have a question. What do you think of when you see a math word problem? Like a long sentence with a bunch of words and some numbers mixed in. What's your first thought?
Sometimes I get mad. I don't always get it. I think about just, I don't know, math.
Yeah, I think that's a very common answer I would get. Math word problems are really complicated because we have to figure out what they want, what information we have, and it can get really confusing when it's not just laid out for us. This strategy will help us kind of decode, it'll help us figure out what the question means. And a lot of other students have really benefited from this. They've made a lot of progress at solving these problems using this strategy. And I bet it's gonna help you out a lot. So let's first start with some review. Bridget, could you read the 4 steps for me?
R is read the problem. U is underline the question. N is name the problem type. And then S is write a strategy sentence.
Thank you for reading that for me. So these are our 4 steps that we're going to be using. The first one makes a lot of sense. We're going to read the problem. We have to read the problem to be able to know what they're asking. The second step, underline the question. Why do you think we need to make sure we know what the question is?
So we can come up with an answer for it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We need to make sure we know what the question's asking first before we can solve it. The third step, name the problem type. This is probably the most difficult, the hardest step. The problem type is basically what operation are we going to use when we're solving the math problem. So we've been working a lot with addition problems. So it could be addition, or it could be something like subtraction. Every time we do these, we're going to have to figure out what the problem wants us to do. Once we have that, we're going to write a strategy sentence. This is a lot like a math sentence. I know we've gone over that before. When we do our example, I'll kind of show you what that looks like. All right, so let's do our example. While I'm doing this, I'm going to be kind of going through it and explaining it and kind of telling you what I'm thinking. If you have any questions, make sure you ask. That's really important. And I'll ask you a couple questions as we go, but it'll be mostly me talking, okay? I'm gonna move this over here so you don't get distracted. All right. Mark had, okay, so first we have this problem. And we know we have words and we have numbers. This is a math word problem. So the first step is I'm going to read the problem. It says, Mark has 2 cookies and 4 brownies. How many sweets does he have? Now, I know from reading that this is a problem about cookies and brownies. And so that gives us some information. We're going to move on to the second step. We're going to underline the question. Now, when I'm looking for a question, I'm looking for one of our question words. Do you know what some of our question words might be?
Who?
Yeah, who's a good one? What?
When? Where?
Where? And I think
How?
how. Yeah. And we can see one right here. I've got how in this part. And I also have to answer the question mark. And that's how we know this is going to be our question. So we're going to underline it. And so let's look at the question. How many sweets does he have? So what is this question asking us for? Don't think too hard about it. You don't overthink it.
How many sweets he has?
Yeah, we're looking for how many sweets he has. So that's what our ending answer should look like. Okay. Let's move on to our next step. We're going to name the problem type. So
What's problem type?
that's a great question. Our problem type is going to be our operation. So it'll be we're going to find out what we're going to be doing to solve the problem. What are we going to be adding? Are we going to be subtracting? Something like that. So let's look at the problem. We know that this problem is about cookies and brownies. We know that it's asking us how many sweets does he have in total. Now we know Mark has 2 cookies and 4 brownies. Sorry. We know he has 2 cookies and 4 brownies, and we're asking how many sweets does he have in total. Now, I'm thinking to myself, is a cookie a sweet? What do you think?
Yeah, because they taste sweet.
Yeah, I would say cookies are sweet, and a brownie's a sweet, right? So we know we have cookies and brownies, and then it's how many sweets does he have in total. I would say that since they're both sweets, we're going to have to combine them. And if we're combining things, what are we doing?
We're adding them?
Yeah, why do you say we're adding them?
Because we're putting them together.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Thank you for giving me your thinking on that one. It's because we have 2 different things that we're combining, that therefore we're adding it. So we know that this is an addition problem. So we've gone over, we read it, we found the question. We now know the problem type, we're adding it. So now we're in our last step. We're going to write a strategy sentence. And it's going to look like this. Does that remind you of anything we've done recently? Something we've done in addition? Mm-hmm. This looks a lot like one of our math sentences, right?
Yes.
Yes. And do you remember what a math sentence has? What's part? And if you don't know the exact name, you can just point out what each of these boxes might be.
Something and something else that makes something else.
I heard you use the word make something else. It's kind of like, so are you saying that this and this, if we put them together, will make that?
Yes.
That's exactly right. So we're going to be filling this out, filling out the strategy sentence with the stuff we know from up here. Remember, we have 2 cookies, 4 brownies, and we're looking for how many sweets. So I'm going to put, since we're the 2 things we're combining over here. So I'm going to put 2 cookies over here. And I did this visually and with numbers, so just to make sure I'm getting it right. Okay. So I drew 2 cookies over here. I drew 4 brownies over here. These are the 2 things we're combining. And I wrote a 2 under the 2 cookies because there's 2 of them. And the same thing with the 4 and the 4 brownies. And then the final step, I'm going to combine these and put them all together, right? So do you remember what 2 plus 4 is?
Yeah, 2 plus 4 is 6.
You're right. 2 plus 4 is 6. We have you can see, we got all those cookies and brownies. We can check our work. We can count 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sweets.
Thanks for counting along. So we know we have 6 sweets. So we solved our problem. We found out how many sweets does Mark have. All right. So last thing we're going to do is we're going to do this problem together. And I'm hoping that you'll kind of walk me through the steps. Okay? So can you start off by reading the problem to me? That's our first step, right?
or read the problem. Sally has 7 dogs and 4 cats. I don't like cats very much.
Yeah, I'm okay with cats, but I like dogs better. You're right. Keep reading.
How many pets does Sally have in total?
Awesome. Thank you for reading that. So, we've read the problem. What is this problem about?
Dogs and cats.
Yeah, you're right. We're reading about Sally's dogs and cats, and really, they're really just pets in general. All right, so let's underline the question. Tell me, where would you find the question inside this word problem?
Near the question mark.
Yeah, that's a great thing to look for. If we see a question mark, and do you remember what a question mark tells us about a sentence?
That's asking us something.
That's a question, right?
Yeah.
And so we can probably say that this whole sentence before it is the question, right?
How many pets does Sally have in total?
Yeah, that's our question. So let's look at the question. What is this question asking us for?
How many pets that Sally has?
Yep, that's right. So let's go to problem. Let's go to problem type. So they're asking how many pets Sally has. Would you say that dogs are pets?
Yep, I have a dog.
You have a dog? I love dogs. Let me say that you have a dog. And then cats are pets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would guess they qualify. Just barely, but they qualify. So then, if we have 7 dogs and 4 cats, and that's how many pets they have, what kind of problem do you think this is?
Adding, like
Adding.
the other one.
And why do you think it's adding?
Because it's saying how many of the pets in total.
I like that. That was a really good math word you used, total. Yeah, we had if there's 7 dogs and 4 cats, and we're putting together, that means that we're adding. Yes, perfectly okay. So we're gonna go to our last thing. We're gonna do a strategy sentence. Do you remember what a strategy sentence looks like? And it's okay if you don't.
The box thing.
Yeah, the box thing. How would you describe it?
There was one box, and then there was another box,
Uh-huh.
and those 2 boxes made another box.
That is a great description. We're gonna put also in there, we're gonna put a plus sign right here and an equal sign right here, okay? This means that we're combining these and we're making it equal this. So, what do you think I'd put in my boxes?
Dogs, and then the cats.
That's great. I agree. These are the things we're putting together. So what am I gonna put in each one? If I have dogs here, how many dogs does Sally have?
7.
And how many cats?
4.
4. Perfect. And then so the problem is 7 plus 4. Do you know that off the top of your head? You do 7 plus 4? It's a good strategy. I like it.
11.
11, you're right. So Sally has 11 pets.
Wow, it's a lot of pets.
It's a lot of pets. She seems pretty lucky, even with 4 of them being cats. All right. So to review, this is great. You just walked me through a whole word problem using our strategy. What we're going to do in the coming lessons is we're going to continue practicing using this strategy, and we're going to try and apply it to other kinds of problems that we've done in the past. We're going to keep applying to the new problems we come to. I'm really excited. This is really helpful for solving math problems.